Greetings everyone, now we're on to shelf 34. We're looking at Malago games. They do some interesting stuff, and I like the sort of ingenuity that they bring with some of their games, where they bring some very kind of, not innovative, but just different, some different charming little games. They're usually quite light, and I've got my 4 favourites on the shelf, so you're in the way. Let's start off nice and big first. So this is I don't know how long this can sit in the collection though, because Inish is a really cool game. I mean, there's Kemet, there's Cyclades, and there's Inish, and this kind of trilogy of games that you can, of this area control thing. This is my favourite of the 3. Kemet's alright, but I find that the balance in the cards is a bit off, and you can get put in a situation where you just can't recover. Cyclades is decent, but I'll only play it with the Titans expansion, which makes mobility a lot better. But again, does everybody have Titans? This one though, I'll play base game or with its expansion, although the expansion does add a rule in that really speeds the game up, which is kind of mandatory to include. It basically, I think, restricts when the end game timer happens. But more information on Inish. Inish is this like Celtic style artwork game where you're placing these land tiles out, and it's area control. So you've all got clansmen, and you're trying to control areas, control various buildings in order to meet one of 3 different endgame triggers. As soon as you meet the condition, you have to put a marker down in order to say, I'm about to win next turn if you don't stop me. And then the other players have got to kind of gang up or in their own way stop you from also having that victory condition met by your next turn. Now, the problem with the base game is that it can get a bit long because people might be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on this. The expansion adds in a rule that as soon as somebody meets that condition, it then gives you the chance to do it, but then it will auto end the game at some stage afterwards if they've been knocked out. So it stops the game dragging on and on and on, which is brilliant. And you've also got sea tiles and other cool stuff. But the thing I love about this, I mean, the artwork is okay. I mean, I like the artwork, but you've got to accept it's that kind of Celtic style. This doesn't appeal to everybody. The problem I'm having with this though is I love the card system in this with drafting, where you draft these cards before every round, they do different actions, and even when you've drafted a card, you could decide to let that one go to another player and take more from the cards you've been given. So you're not fixed on, I've drafted this card, now I'm stuck with it. No, you could change your mind partway through the draft. Really cool. But the problem with this is that it takes a few games to get used to how you're supposed to play it. This is not a pick up and play game. By the time you played the first game, you're going to be thinking, oh, that's how things work. Oh, right, I didn't quite know what I was doing. But then you get into it, you play it more, and then it starts clicking. I was the same. The problem is that a lot of people, you play this once, they never see the game again, or they don't have the time or effort to put in more plays. And that's what's hurting this on my shelf. I really love it, but I just can't get it to the table because other people aren't as interested in it as I am. So it hurts because I really want to hang on to it and I really want to keep it, but I need more people to play this with. It is cool, honestly. I know it sounds bad, but trust me, give Inish a try, okay? Righty, let's go on to something a little bit more simpler. So let's move on to... Oh, I'm going to twist the other way next time. Dice Town. Ah, yes, I was finally they reprinted this, so I was able to get my own copy. I don't have any expansions for this though. I really need to try and get hold of some. But Dice Town, again upside down, it's this cool kind of almost a sort of push up dice drafting bidding game. Essentially, you've got these dice, poker style dice, and you roll them concealed in a cup, and then everybody has a look at what dice they've got. You can keep so many in a round depending on how much you spend, but basically what will happen is eventually everybody will have 5 dice under their cup. They get revealed, and then these locations activate in order based on the poker hands. So I might have rolled a full house. That means I can activate the town hall and do really cool stuff. But then another one might be, right, well, I've got all the 9s in my hand, therefore I get lots of gold. Somebody might get all the 10s and rob the bank. It's very Western style themed. But it's very quick, very light, and it's just very straightforward. I mean, 45 minutes to play this game, if that. And you can have up to 6 players, I think. No, 5 players, so it caters to that horrible number of 5. But it's very light. It's basically dice, poker hands, get points in various ways. Money with landlord deeds, get gold nuggets, or these cool little cards that could be points or special abilities. nice and light and very cool. And I've not had it go badly when I've shown it to people. I've shown it at Dice Portsmouth events to show, here's a nice simple game with some bidding, and it's gone over pretty well. I mean, this is just nice, light, charming. And it's Ludovic Montblanc and Bruno Cafala. Need I say more, really? Okay, right, let's twist around this way now. So, we're looking at... What was it the other way? I should have twisted, I don't know, but... Okay, You've seen my mascot Takinoko that I got from the deluxe Kickstarter thing, but it's like, you can't really go wrong with a nice light game like Takinoko. Now, technically this is Bombix. It could have gone with Abyss, but I think Madigo was the primary publisher of this, but I don't know. Tomato, tomato. It's going with my Madigo stuff. I mean, I got to store it somehow. But Takinoko, who doesn't know this game? The wondrous game where you've got a communal garden and you're controlling a panda and gardener to grow bamboo trees and chomp them down. You've got to meet objectives for how you grow the garden, how you grow the trees, how you eat what you eat as the panda. It is cute. It's got cool little miniatures for that. And you'll see eventually, although I won't be able to show it to you, I don't think, but I can at least show you where it is. On top of the other shelf in there, I've got the deluxe version of this. So I've got a Takinoko thing that comes in this giant cube, and it's got like I mean, if you imagine like the bamboo's about this big normally, a bamboo is like kind of like the height of this, my green tea mug, there's your typical bamboo piece. So when you stack a tree, it's about this tall. And the panda is like, oh, this tiny little panda miniature. Panda! It's like a stupidly sized panda and gardener. It looks great, and I have taken it to events and taught people Takinoko with it. And then they've gone and bought this game from the store, and like literally on the same convention site, because they enjoy this game, they realise the kids like it, the adults can get something out of it, and after seeing my deluxe set, it just puts them in a good mood. Granted, can't sell them the deluxe set, but they can at least buy this cool version. So yeah, Takinoko. Right, let's twist around this way now. That's probably a bit better. And finally, Raptor. Raptor. Now, yes, I don't get two-player games to the table much, and granted, it's been a long time since I played this, but I think it's just a really solid two-player game. I mean, it's a 30-minute game, 45 tops, 2 players, and it's got that cool card mechanic that I like of getting in your opponent's head. You've got scientists versus the raptors. It's kind of like the prequel to Jurassic Park in a sense. The scientists want to kidnap the baby raptors or put the mother to sleep. The mother raptor wants to save her babies or eat all the scientists. Personally, I love playing the raptor more because velociraptors are awesome. Best dinosaur ever. But I would say that the one flaw with this game is that it's a bit balanced in favour of the scientist. The scientists, I think, definitely have an easier time of winning than the raptor does. But I favour the challenge, and I get to play a velociraptor, so, I mean, that's always beneficial. But I usually give the scientist to the new player. But with this, it's just a cool little thing with like a little tile map. Scientists can breathe fire, the mother raptor goes around and eats, you try to tranquilize the raptor. But the card system is great. You've got cards from 1 to 9, and it's that whole thing of play a card to pick them all back up, otherwise they stay face up so people can see, so you got some information. But the abilities work in 2 fronts. They've got an ability as well as the number. There's a sideboard of actions that you can do, and it's asymmetric, but you simultaneously, with 3 cards in your hand, choose one and put it face down, and then they get revealed. And then what happens is whoever has the lower number gets the ability of the card, but whoever has the higher number gets the differential of the 2 numbers as action points. So if somebody plays a 2 and somebody plays a 9, they get their really powerful ability. Well, they get a basic ability because low numbers tend to have the basic abilities, but they play that. But the other person gets 7 action points, which is a lot to do on their turn. So their action points might be more constructive than your ability. But then if you can time, based on what information you can see, what you think the opponent's got, it's like, the opponent's running out of low cards, they're going to be playing a high one. I reckon I can play this high one and get away with it. And then you play your 6, they play their 7, they only get 1 measly action point, and you get an ability and you feel good about yourself. It's got a cool theme, it's nice and light. The flaw with this one, other than just being 2 players, is that you kind of have a bit to teach. Because you've got to teach the card abilities, you've got to teach the winning conditions for each faction, but then you've also got the different actions that each person can do, which is unique to their faction. So there's a bit of rules checking in every now and again, but it's a really solid 2-player game, hence it stayed in the collection. I still hang on to some 2 players like Rebellion and that, but I tend to cherry pick which ones specifically, in the hope that one day meet a future girlfriend who wants to get into games and I can go, here's my 2-player games. So yeah, that is the Manago shelf. We're going to move on to 2 shelves worth of Stonemaier games, although, oh no, not entirely Stonemaier. There's 3 Stonemaier games, and then a couple from a company called Blam. You may not know them very well, but maybe you'll recognise at least one of the games when I get down there. But I'm sure this is going to be interesting for the next 2 when I talk about Stonemaier. So yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. I'm going to go eat some dinner. I'm starving.